Welcome back. My name is Miss Molly, and I'm here to tell you all about Cops and Kids storytelling series presented by PPL. Now today, as you can see, I'm roasting some marshmallows. They're so yummy, and Honey over here is already eaten 3 of them. And I think he might get a tummy ache if he eats any more. So I'm just gonna help roast the rest of his marshmallow. And today we get to meet one of our readers in the reading room right now. We have Miss Taylor. And Miss Taylor is here to tell us all about the story that she gets to read to us. And she's one of our favorite Cops and Kids people that come in and help out. And so Taylor, do you mind coming over and hanging out with us? Look, I made you a marshmallow.
Oh,
Here you go.
Thank you.
And Taylor, what story are you going to be reading today?
Today I'm going to be reading Camping Spree with Mr Mcgee by Chris Van Dusen.
Taylor, do you want to go camping today?
I would love to go camping. I hope you guys can join us too.
And guess what else? Guess what? What? We are going to have a craft after the storytelling by our own very Taylor. And so, stay tuned, listen to the story, and I hope you enjoy the craft that Taylor is going to be in again. All right, bye.
Hello everyone, my name is Taylor Rizak. I'm going to be a senior at DeSales University majoring in management and marketing. I've been volunteering with Cops and Kids for now 5 years, but I did bring along my little dog, Frankie, because Mr. Mcgee has a little dog as well named Dee. So today I'll be reading A Camping Spree with Mr. Mcgee by Chris Van Dusen. Early one morning at 7:03, Mr. Mcgee and his little dog Dee packed up the camper and hitched up the load, hopped in the Rambler, and then hit the road. They drove to the mountains far from the sea for 2 nights of camping, or possibly 3. "There's nothing like camping," said Mr. Mcgee. "I know you will love it, just you wait and see. The views are fantastic, there's hardly a sound. Aside from the wildlife, there's no one around. And the air is so sweet, you'll sleep like a log," said Mr. Mcgee to his small spotted dog. A few hours later, they took a sharp right and found a great spot to lay camp for the night. It was high on a hill with a beautiful view of Mount Adams, Mount Lincoln, and Jefferson too. But perhaps the most wonderful feature of all was the brook that ran over a steep waterfall. Dee gathered pine cones and branches and logs. Mcgee made a campfire and cooked some hot dogs. And as the sun set far behind the distant knolls, they sat roasting marshmallows over the coals, just like little Frankie here. As the embers went out, they felt tired and dozy, so they climbed in their bunk beds, all comfy and cozy. But while they were falling asleep without care, along came a stumbling, bumbling bear. A kindly old bear, whose sight wasn't so clear. He couldn't see far, and he couldn't see near. But he could smell marshmallows, sticky and sweet. The smell made him hungry. He really wanted a treat. He sniffed out the place where the marshmallows lay, but the car and the camper were in the bear's way. Yet that didn't stop the sneaky old snitch. He simply tried squeezing right under the hitch. And as he was shimmying into the gap, he pushed up the hitch, which let go with a snap. Now the camper and the car were untied. They started to roll down the rocky hillside. The car bounced away on the old logging road, while the camper was heading to where the stream flowed. It flew down the hill in a wild, bumpy ride, while Dee and Mcgee slept soundly inside. I wouldn't be able to still be asleep during this kind of ride. They were snoring and snoozing, enjoying a dream, when splash went the camper right into the stream. The splash shook the camper. They bumped out of bed. "Now what in the world was that?" Mcgee said. And when he looked out and saw where they were, his hair stood on the end, and so did Dee's fur. They were caught in the rapids, but that wasn't all. They were headed smack dab for the big waterfall. Dee and Mcgee both started to quiver as faster and faster they headed downriver. But just when they thought they'd fallen over the edge, the camper got stuck on a rock at the ledge. So there they were, stranded, Mcgee and his pup, on top of a waterfall 50 feet up. Meanwhile, that nearsighted bear from before was searching for one little marshmallow more, when lo and behold, as if out of a dream, he spied something sweet floating over the stream. But what the bear thought was a marshmallow treat was really the hitch and not something to eat. He thought that was the marshmallow. The bear was determined to capture his prize, so he jumped in the water right up to his thighs. He splashed through the stream to the edge of the fall and snatched up the trailer hitch, camper and all. Dee felt a tug. Magee heard a knock as the bear pulled the camper right off of the rock. He dragged them both all the way back to the bank when he realized the hitch was not sweet, but quite rank. He spit out the hitch and left in dismay, while Magee and Dee's camper again rolled away. It flew down the path with a jolt and a jar and stopped in some bushes right next to the car. Dee popped her head out. Magee looked out too. Had they really stopped rolling? Could it be true? At last things were quite quiet and peaceful and still. They hooked up the hitch and drove off down the hill. And on the way home, Magee said to Dee, "That trip wasn't quite like I thought it would be." So when they got home, the sky turning red, they decided to camp in the backyard instead. That's how I prefer to do my camping too, right in the backyard. So I hope you enjoyed this book, A Camping Spree with Mr. Mcgee, and stay tuned for while we do a little craft that has to do with camping as well. Hello everyone again. So first craft we're going to make today is a little tent that you can use for your little action figures at home, your little dolls. So I have two ones made right now. So I have a little flower one and a little camouflage one. So you're going to need at least 5 popsicle sticks, some kind of paper, whether it be printer paper, construction paper, printed paper from scrapbooking, any kind of paper. And you're going to need some kind of binding. So that could be tacky glue, regular glue stick, maybe hot glue, but you're going to need a parent's help with that. And then you're going to need some markers to decorate. So first things first, you're going to take one popsicle stick and you're going to want to cut the very edge so it's no longer rounded. And be careful because it does go flying, so you want some parents' help with this. So then it should be a little rectangle like that with no rounded spots anywhere in between. And then you're going to take 2 more popsicle sticks and get some glue. I'm going to use tacky glue just for the sake of time. And you're going to squeeze some out and put it right on the edge. And you want to glue them together. So then it looks like this. And when you're gluing, you're going to want to push them down for at least 10 seconds to make sure that the glue dries. And then you're going to do the same process while we let the rest of that dry, again, with the other 2 popsicle sticks, or regular sticks, or straws. Whatever you have available best to you. And again, you're going to hold for at least 10 seconds to make sure the glue dries. So you're going to let that dry as best you can. Then you're going to take your straight-edged one, the one that you cut from before, and you're going to need some kind of stronger glue. So usually hot glue is the best, but if you don't have hot glue because you don't have a parent help with you, tacky glue or regular Elmer's glue will do. You want to take the edge and kind of put a little bit of glue right on both sides. And that's how you're going to connect the 2 edges of the popsicle sticks together. So I'll put this on the edge, right like this. And you want to take your other one, right like that, and you're going to want to hold it for at least 20 seconds. So that way you know it stays together. And you're not going to want to touch it then afterward, because this is when you're going to decorate your little tent however you want to. Whether it be camo, flower, with your name. When it's done drying, it's going to look like this. So it's a nice little thing all set up for you. So you have the straight edge in between the 2 that connects the 2 little crossed popsicle sticks together. And then you're going to find any kind of paper like I said before. So I'm going to use purple, and I'm going to cut out a little strip. So you might want some parents' help with this to cut. So you can put the bigger paper aside. And you're going to have a little strip of paper. And you're going to fold that in half to make your little tent. And you're going to test it, see how big it is. So this one's a little bit too tall. I don't know if you can see. It's a little bit too tall. So I'm going to take the edge where the open end is and cut off a little bit more. And you'll have some scrap paper that you can throw away. And you're going to put it back on. And you see, it sets up nice and easy. And then you can decorate however you like. So for this one, I'll put my name and maybe a heart or 2. And then you can create a little tent for any of your little toys at home. So that way they can go on a camping trip with you. It's nice and fun.
So I have my little name, I have it a little set up. So now it's a little camping tent, and my little doll can go in. Nice and fun. Now for our second camping craft, we're going to be making little animal wildlife headbands out of leaves that you can get from your backyard, from the park, from school, anywhere really outside. It could be from trees, could be from flowers, could be from bushes, and there's a couple little animals we're going to do. But today I'm going to demonstrate how to make a little bunny because it's nice and fun. So you're going to need a piece of paper, any color. It could even be a brown bag like I did with the one right here. But you're going to fold it in half, hot dog style. And you're going to crease it up nice and even, so that way it's a nice piece of paper folded in half. Then you're going to get scissors, which you might need some parents' help, and cut this right along the line that was from in half. So it's a little guide. So now you have two halves of one piece of paper, and you're going to want to connect them together. So the way you're going to connect them together is totally up to you. It could be with tape, it could be with a stapler, it could be with glue, but for the sake of time, I'm going to use a stapler, and I'm going to want to staple them. There we go. Staple them together. So now it's like one big long piece of paper. And with this piece of paper, you're going to want to measure your head. So this is definitely, you might need somebody's help, but we're going to make it up today because I have a big head, so mine goes around perfect. So if you have extra paper at the end, you're going to cut that extra paper off if your head is too small for the paper, and then you're going to connect it again. So my head barely fit around this piece of paper, but we're going to staple it again, or glue it, or tape it, whatever you have available to you. And so now you have like this giant headband. So what I do is I flatten it, so that way it's easier to draw on and easier to glue on. Nice and easy. So now it's like a little cylinder that we folded down. So now you want to go outside. So this was all from my backyard. I picked all different size leaves, any kind of petals from a flower, but you don't want to destroy mom or dad's garden because that might not make them happy. But I found two leaves that kind of remind me of bunny ears because they're nice and long and even, and we're going to use these to make bunny ears. So you're going to get glue, I definitely recommend. Hot glue is probably best for this, so you're definitely going to want some parents' help if they have hot glue. If not, again, I'm going to use some tacky glue just because it's sticky and it's going to work just fine. So I'm going to take the two leaves and put some glue along the stem, and I'm going to glue it to the top of the paper to make it like their ears. I'm going to do the same thing for the other one because animals need two ears. And you can do this with any type of animal. So I also made here an owl and a bear. You could even make a dog, you can make a cat, really any shaped leaf that reminds you of an animal ear, you can make. You can make a big elephant because I have like some big leaves here. You just have to use your imagination. It'll be nice and fun. And it's a nice day. If it's a nice day out, definitely go on a walk. Find as many leaves, as many flowers as you can. And I'm going to hold both these down for at least 10 seconds. So that way I know that it's going to be dry. You don't want to get glue all over your fingers like I did. Now you're going to need at least one marker, so that way you can draw on your bunny face. So as you can see here, you draw the eyes, which are little ovals. And I put them really close together because I like my bunny to be cute. He needs a little nose and a couple of whiskers. So this isn't quite dry, but this is what it'll turn out to be. And then the little leaves stick up like ears, and it looks like you have a little bunny headband. I also did a little owl, because it reminded me of their little eyebrows, these leaves. And I also did a little black bear, which is kind of hard to see, but the leaves are kind of round, they kind of remind me of bear ears. But use your imagination to make any other type of animal, and it'll be nice and fun. Or, if you have a bunch of extra leaves, like I did, I made a little crown, a nature leaf crown. So when I go camping with my family, they'll know who's queen of the outside. So I put my name on it. I added some flower petals that are pink to, spice it up. I added all different colored leaves. It might be a little bit more fun to do it in the fall because then you'll have a bunch of different colored leaves because we know that leaves change color in the fall. But be sure to go outside and spend some time outside to find all the leaves that you can get so that way you can make a nice little headband.